Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Professor Hassan and you are watching my channel Professor Hassan Hamayu. It is lecture number 5 for the preparation of the test of statistical officer. Before starting today's vital and essential lecture for you, I request everyone subscribe to my channel, like and share my channel, and click the bell icon for the notifications of the next important videos. Let's start. Question number 1 of today's lecture is: a certain company employs a large number of senior managers earning very high salaries and a few others who earn comparatively small salaries. What is the histogram of the salaries for this company likely to look like? A. Symmetrical, B. Bimodal, C. Positively skewed, D. Negatively skewed. Dear students, that is a very important concept I want to discuss with you people. You have salaries on x-axis and number of employees, number of people on y-axis. Most of the people have high salaries. Actually, the graph will come like this much. A few people have a small salary. There are a very few people who have small salaries. It means that will be like this much, and it is negatively skewed. And if you are interested, for example, number of absentees, and I will make the graph for this much. Here we have number of absentees, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here you have number of students. There are 100 students in the class. Maximum students have 1 number of absentees, then 2 number of absentees, 3 number of absentees. A few students have 5 absentees. That graph will be like this much, and that is a positively skewed distribution. What did you learn? If maximum number of people have high number of things, you can say that will be negatively skewed. In that question, number of employees are given, and maximum number of employees have maximum salaries, and a few people have small salaries. That will be negatively skewed. And in that question, maximum number of students have a little number of 1 or 2 number of absentees, and a few students have maximum absentees. That will be positively skewed. And that question is also very important for the interview. If the question is it good if you have positively skewed data or negatively skewed? When we are interested in the number of marks, then negatively skewed will be the better one. And if you are interested in the number of absentees, then positively skewed distribution will be the better one. A very important concept. In that question, the answer is negatively skewed. When maximum number of employees have maximum salaries, high salaries, then negatively skewed will be the correct option in the exam. Question number 2. This graph gives accurate picture of the relative proportional of frequency from interval to interval. A very important. A. Frequency polygon, B. histogram, C. frequency curve, D. ogive curve. And frequency polygon is the correct option. Question number 3. As the number of observations and classes increase, the shape of a frequency polygon A tends to become jagged. Incorrect. B. Varies only if data become more reliable. Incorrect. C. Stays the same. Incorrect. D. Tends to become increasingly smooth. As the number of observations increase, that graph becomes smooth. That is the correct option. Question number 4. A statistical diagram that utilizes the upper and lower quartiles along with the median and the two extreme values is known as. A very important concept. We have discussed box and whisker plot. In center we have Q2 median. It is also called median, and that is Q1. It is Q3. That value is minimum value of the data, and that is the maximum value of the data. And a very important concept, that is called interquartile range. That length is actually Q3 minus Q1. These things can be asked about the graph, box plot. A very important, box plot will be the correct option. It is discussing Q1, Q2, Q3, minimum value and maximum value of the data. Question number 5. The box plot was introduced by A. R. A. Fisher, incorrect. B. Pearson, incorrect. C. John Tukey. John Tukey introduced box plot. John Tukey is the correct option. Question number 6. One of the most important purposes of a box and whisker plot is A. to show in a comprehensive way of the location of all of the scores in a distribution. B. to provide a quick and easy way to identify percentiles. C. to display data that were measured on a nominal categorical scale. Incorrect. D. to identify outliers. That is used to identify outliers. It is the correct option. Question number 7. The box and whisker plot is based on which measure of central tendency? A. Mode, incorrect. B. Mean, incorrect. C. Median. That is the median. Box plot is considering the median. It is based on median, Q2. Question number 8. If the width of a box in a box plot is very large compared to the rest of the box plot, what does that mean about the shape of the data set? That is the width actually. A. The data are clumped tightly in the middle. B. The data are not symmetric. C. Not enough information to tell. That D. The data were very spread out in the middle. That is the correct word. There is a variation in the data about the central value if the width is not same. If the width is very large compared to the rest of the box plot. Question number 9. In a box and whisker plot, the whiskers are drawn horizontally in each of the direction until they reach the hinges. A. Hinges. B. Nearest outlier. C. Inner fences. D. Adjacent values. Adjacent values is the correct option. Question number 10. The length of the box in the box and whisker plot portrays the A. median, B. range, C. upper quartile, D. interquartile range. As I discussed, that length is called Q3 minus Q1. It is interquartile range. Interquartile range will be the correct option in the exam. Question number 11. Suppose that in a 5-number summary you find that a large gap exists between the third quartile and the highest value. That is the third quartile and that is the maximum value. Then between the lowest value and the first quartile, what does it mean about the shape of the data set? A. symmetric, incorrect. B. skewed to the right. It is the correct option. Skewed to the right. When that difference is more than that difference, then there is positive, that is negatively skewed actually. Skewed to the right. Skewed, positively skewed. Next question is, dash is any value that is more than 1.5 times the interquartile range. If any value is 1.5 in interquartile range, 1.5 times the interquartile range from the closest end of the box in a box plot. A. median, B. outlier, C. extreme observations, D. C. extreme observations, D. both B and C. If any value is more than 1.5 times interquartile range, Q3 minus Q1, that is called outlier as well as extreme observation. It means B and C is the correct option. Question number 12. Which of the following does a box whisker plot not display? A. the median, it tells us about the median. B. outliers, it tells us about the outliers. C. the lower quartile, it tells us about the lower quartile. D. mean, mean is the correct option because box and whisker plot does not display mean. Question number 13. Which of the following cannot be easily approximated from a box and whisker plot? A. the range, incorrect. B. interquartile range, incorrect. C. second quartile, incorrect. The standard deviation is the correct option. Question number 14. Which of the following provides the most information about the shape of a data set? A. box plot, B. pie chart, C. 5-numbered summary, D. stem and leaf display. D is the correct option because stem and leaf display tells us about every value of the data. It tells us about the shape of the data, about the central value of the data, about the mode of the data. It tells us about the variation in the data actually. It tells us about the extreme value of the data. Question number 15. The stem and leaf display A reveals for more information relative to individual values than does the histogram. Yes, because it tells us about every individual value. B allows the median to be easily identified. Yes, I told you it tells us about the central value of the data. C does not allow the original data values to be identified. D both A and B are correct. A and B are correct. Question number 16. The dash is a method of organizing data and is a combination of sorting and graphing. A Pareto chart, B pie chart, C frequency distribution, D stem and leaf display. It organizes data, it arranges data, it sort out data, and it graphs it. It is a graph actually. D is the correct option, stem and leaf display. Now question number 17 is data can be well displayed or presented by the way of A cross classification, B stem and leaf display, C two or more dimensional table, D all of these. All of these is a correct option. Question number 18. Suppose that you are constructing a stem and leaf display for the weights of a group of students. If the weights range from 93 to 176, 93 to 176 pounds, how many stems would you be likely to use? A very important one. That first digit is called the stem actually. 9 will be over here, 3 4 5 up to so on. Then I will say 10 will be here, 1 2 3 up to so on. 11 1 2 3 up to so on. 12 1 2 3 up to so on. 13 14 15 16 17 1 2 3 4 5 6 176. How many stems are there? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. 9 will be the correct option in the exam. A very important question for all the papers of statistics. Question number 19. A major advantage of the stem and leaf plot as compared to other methods for displaying data is that A. It takes up less space. Incorrect. B. It displays data horizontally rather than vertically. C. Any skewing of the distribution will be evident. D. All of the original data are preserved. That is the correct option. Original data is preserved. You can say every value of the data, 93 94 95 101 102 103, all the values are saved actually. Next question is, which of the following statements regarding stem plot is false? A stem plot allows you to retrieve the original data. That is the correct one. B, if a certain value in your data set is repeated 3 times, it must appear 3 times in appropriate stem and leaf of the stem plot. Yes. C, a stem plot can never reuse the same stem digit twice. That is the incorrect one actually. That should be ticked in the data in the exam. Next question, if you rotate a stem and leaf display, a very important question. If you rotate a stem and leaf display so that the stem is horizontally, it will resemble A frequency polygon, B a histogram, C a bell curve, D a bar graph. Dear students, this is the graph. When you bar graph, dear students, this is the graph. When you will rotate it, that will become like this much, and that is the bar graph. Bar graph will be the correct option in the exam. The full numerical information on every item in a set of data is preserved in A frequency polygon, B histogram, C cumulative frequency diagram, D a stem and leaf display. Stem and leaf diagram will be the correct option. Next question, a bar chart or graph showing in the frequency of occurrence of each value of the variable being analyzed is called A bar chart, B candlestick, C histogram. Histogram is the correct option. That is the graph of the frequency distribution. Next question, the points of the frequency polygon for a grouped frequency distribution are placed directly over A the upper limit of each interval, B the lower limit of each interval, C the upper real limit of each interval, D the midpoint of each interval. Yes, that is the correct option. I told you last time, if you just put the dot on the midpoint of every rectangle of the histogram and you join this line by the line, that will be frequency polygon. In frequency polygon we put the dot on the midpoint of the rectangle of the histogram. Last question of today's lecture, as you move to the right on a cumulative frequency polygon, the line on the graph A always slopes upward, B never reaches, and C eventually touch the horizontal axis, D never slopes downward. Never slopes downward is the correct option, a very important one. Assalamu alaikum.